Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Tuesday morning. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I kind of want to talk about a comment that recently came in. I've been doing a lot of videos lately on comments because you can find some really good topics in the contents, because there's a lot of people that ask questions, or they just say stuff because they've been stacking silver for so long, and they say something that really jives, and I think it's worth talking about. I actually had a comment come in today. I'm going to read the comment first. Basically, it said, "Good morning, T. Most consumers are too emotional to be investors. They will not take the time to understand the investment. Therefore, they will be manipulated by the hypers and the dumpers. The whole thing will be a roller coaster ride for them as they buy and sell. If a person truly understands the investment, they can confidently buy on the dips and stack cash when the investment is making a run. There will be time to trade silver for gold, but most stackers will hold on for a little bit more gains and ride it back to the bottom. Gold will be the base of the new currency going forward. It will be easy to trade for things that you need or want." And there was actually a follow-up on there that actually said, what ratio would you trade silver for gold? So we're going to talk about these two comments today. One of them was from the old man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you putting that comment. The other one was from Joshua K. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. I love to hear them. So, yeah, I can't agree more. When people don't really understand what they're investing in, it seems like they just follow the hype. You know, when an investment is really taking off, people want to get into it. When it's a good investment, but it's not making headlines, people don't want to. We've seen this time and time again. I'll be honest, I got into Dogecoin when it was super undervalued. I was really lucky to get in. I bought lots of it, and people laughed at me. A lot of people just said, "You're foolish, you're buying, it's just a meme coin." I said, it's a meme coin, yes, but it has a lot of hype behind it. There's a lot of people that say it's a meme coin, but yet they don't want to invest in it, but yet they all want to talk about it. And I found that super interesting. And then when I seen the Super Bowl commercial for Dogecoin, I said, that's it. I'm getting in. And I ended up putting all three of my, what did we call them? I don't know what those checks were that they sent out to everybody during the whole cough. There was a name for them. I don't even remember. But the free money that they sent to everybody. I told myself, you know what? I didn't really need it. I was okay. So I wanted to put it in something that had a shot at making something. And it did very well. And then all of a sudden, it took off. And it just started skyrocketing. People were talking about it like it was the next GameStop. And then at that point, when everybody was buying into it, I wanted to sell. And I've told this story numerous times. I sold a little bit early. I could have held on to it longer and rode it even higher, but I didn't want to take the risk because at that point, everybody was talking about it. And people called me foolish. The same people that said it was a meme coin and a bad investment, all of a sudden were saying you're foolish to sell it. And I found that really interesting. And that's when I really learned, I think you could say, that people are just always going to follow. They're mostly followers. A lot of people don't take the time to really investigate what they're investing in. I'm going to say Bitcoin. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. You guys know that. I think Bitcoin is way overvalued. The blockchain, it's awesome. It's a technology that will be here to last. I wouldn't be surprised to see them eventually roll out some kind of gold blockchain technology that, each ounce is convertible, I guess you could say, to gold, silver, or be used as money. And they might even say, you know what, we're going to hold all the gold and y'all can have the blockchain. But there's only so much, and you can monitor us, because it is cool that you can monitor the accounts and stuff on the blockchain. I do like that feature. But here's the thing. When you look at something like Bitcoin, it's just so overvalued. What makes Bitcoin really different from something like Ethereum? I mean, when you really start looking at all these cryptocurrencies, it's just the name. What makes a pair of Nike shoes different from a pair of, I don't know, Walmart sneakers? Now, I know someone out there is going to say it's called quality. The quality is what you're paying for. Maybe. But, I mean, there's a lot of quality shoes or quality items out there that don't have a fancy name, because they just don't. I mean, look at how much money companies like Nike invest in their name. And so, therefore, I think you're paying for a name. And the same thing can be said with Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. But now, when it comes to gold or silver, it doesn't have really good advertisement. Let's be honest. I mean, who talks about gold and silver? Tinfoil hat conspiracists, preppers, nut jobs. There's a few good economists out there that have mentioned it, but generally it doesn't get talked about, because I'm convinced they don't want you to understand it. The high-ups, most of them get hired out by all your good economists, have somehow, it seems like, been hired by the Fed, by the government, by a government, to do tests or whatever, just to kind of keep them all maybe wrapped around their fingers. And when you look at what's going on with gold and silver, clearly we know, the people that follow this channel, the people that really put a lot of time into this topic, understand that this is money. You know, and once you understand the investment, you understand that paper is just that. It's paper. It's fiat. Yeah, people accept it. It's great. I mean, you get to, who don't want more of it? Yeah, I mean, you can buy stuff you want with it. You can go do stuff you want to go do with it. But at the end of the day, it's a piece of paper. The only thing that keeps it kind of propped up is the faith that nothing bad can ever happen to it. And I'm convinced that eventually something bad can happen to it. Now, obviously, I don't want to see that happen. I would love to see the dollar remain top dog forever, especially because I'm here in the United States. And I benefit by being here in the United States and capitalizing off the U.S. dollar the way it is. But here's the thing. What we want and what we get doesn't always equal the same. I mean, everybody would like to be a millionaire. Clearly, we're all not. But on the flip side, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And once you understand that, gold and silver eventually will pop. The dollar will eventually collapse. So how do I know that? Well, all fiat currencies in history, if they were paper-based, they eventually go to zero. And even if they were gold or silver-based, what do? They eventually water it down. Because there was a time when American money was gold and silver. And then what happened? Well, you know, they slowly gave people paper money for the gold. And then they said it was exchangeable. You could trade it in. And then you couldn't. Only governments could. And then they couldn't temporarily. But temporary has never came to an end yet. And it never will. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Then we got rid of the silver in 64. The copper in 82. Before you knew it, we're just using fiat. And I think it's just a matter of time before the nickel goes away, because the nickel is made out of nickel and copper, and that too is getting expensive. When you really look at what's going on with gold and silver, you see that gold and silver is money. Yes, it has volatility, I guess you could say. It moves up and down, but does it really make major moves? Is it going to go to zero? I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff happen. I mean, how many of you guys were stacking silver when it went up to 29 and then it plunged down to 22? And there was a lot of people that were upset. I sold someone some. I helped him out. He wanted to get some under his belt. I kind of made him a deal. He got some under his belt, and then the price went down to 22, and he was furious. There's always going to be people out there that don't understand the investment. What he should have looked at is, I still have the same amount of silver. Yes, it would have been great if I had bought it a month later, but you know what? A month later, the government wasn't shut down. The world didn't seem like it was in chaos. Because when that stuff happens, that's when we really see spikes in precious metals. That's when everybody wants to buy into it. They want to buy out of fear. They're being emotionally pulled into it because they realize, this world, the way it is, can't go on forever. But they don't realize that when times are good. When the government's up and running and everything seems like it's going smooth, you see the price of silver and gold come down. You see the premiums come down. And people don't really want gold and silver. They just don't think they have a need for it. I'll give you another example. Insurance. How many of y'all buy some sort? Everybody probably buys some sort of insurance. But for me, one of the big ones is hurricane insurance. So I personally do not buy hurricane insurance. I think it is a ruckus. I think that if a hurricane comes, I am going to be hurting if it takes my house away. But I also look at what the probability of that happening is. But I can tell you, when a hurricane comes into the Gulf of Mexico, I freak out a little bit. Yeah, I'm antsy, but it's too late. You can't buy insurance at that point. Why? Because they're not going to sell it to you. Now the risk is just too much, and so they don't want to sell it. Well, the same thing with gold and silver. If something was really happening, breaking down right now, and it was going to all fall apart tomorrow, and somebody's going to know it. People out there are going to know. Government officials, whatever the case may be, someone's going to know. They will be taking every penny they have or have access to, and they'll be buying up gold and silver. And it won't just be one person. It'll be everybody. And I think that's why we've been seeing this, I'll say, price increase. I mean, gold is up to $33.50. We got silver at $38, pretty much right around. We're seeing it climb because people see the writing on the wall, what's going on. But it's not out of the bag yet. Not everybody knows what's happening. There's a lot of people that don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if when it really gets crazy, if something major happens that distracts you from gold and silver. I had a friend of mine send me a story today about some, stellar object that's going to come close to Earth and this and that. And now they're saying it could be a spaceship. It looks like it has headlights on it and it's changed course, and it's crazy. People read into all this stuff, and I almost feel like they don't think for themselves anymore. He had asked me, he goes, "You don't think there's aliens out there?" I said, "I didn't say that. I said, personally, I don't think this is aliens." I said, "Let's just look at it. What are you basing it off of?" He said, "They said." I said, "They said." "Do you know anything about it?" "No." When people need to think for themselves about what's going on. Look at what has happened in the past when it comes to stuff. Look at what you can see happening now. Gold and silver is slowly creeping up, but it's not making headlines. Why? Because they don't want everybody investing in it. They want to invest in it. You can bet someone is buying huge amounts of gold, huge amounts of silver, and then they're flooding the market with paper contracts so we don't notice it. Huge amounts of manipulation is being put out there, and a lot of people are just falling for it. But when you understand gold and silver, it's just noise. In fact, when it comes down, I want to buy more. And when it goes up, I can sit back and wait. Why? Because I held my own. I bought when there wasn't issues. If you buy the hurricane insurance, you buy it when there's not a hurricane in the Gulf. If you plan ahead you'll generally win. But a lot of people are too emotional when it comes to precious metals. They want to buy when things get ugly. You know, when the government shuts down, when some major announcement happens, a war breaks out somewhere in the world. You don't want to do that. Right now, I believe this is the time to purchase, to make pickups, while it's kind of sitting on the back burner. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button. If you're still here watching, leave a comment and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Let's take a look at some of the prices. I kind of did my video a little backwards today because today I didn't go over the numbers. Usually I go over the prices and stuff first and then I do the talk. We got silver right now trading at $37.82. Some people saying, oh, it's plunging. I always get a kick when I hear people shoot me a message or especially when they call me. If you know me in person and you call me up and say, do you see the silver price? It's getting killed right now. It's not. It's down 30 cents maybe. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, yeah, it might have gotten up to, 38.50. So maybe it's down 70 cents, but that ain't nothing for me to worry about. I sleep well at night knowing that I'm able to buy a solid, sound asset that will only go up over time. We did that video yesterday about someone that bought an ounce when it was $5, misplaced it. 30, 40 years later, he finds it along with a $20 bill, still with it. Found the envelope that it was all in. And boom. What has changed? Silver and gold, they've gone up even higher. It's happened to me. I found envelopes like that I've had put up and just forgot about them. Once you understand this, hey, you can't go wrong, I don't believe. Now, this is not financial advice, just my opinion. Who knows what could happen, but I think it's going to continue to see the same trend. Higher and higher precious metals prices. We got gold right now trading at $3,336, up a little bit off of its low. It got as low as $3,320, but I mean, is that really a jump? Nope. Got as high as $3,350. Is that technically it got even higher if you go back a couple weeks. I'm only going over the last 24 hours. I mean, technically it got up to $3,500. So someone could complain and say it's down $160. It's not the end of the world. Taking a quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's sitting at 115,000, down 1% or 1,200 points. DXY sitting right now just over 98. A lot of stuff, revolving around the peace talks. What's going to happen with the peace talks? It's not looking good right now. Everybody seems like they want what they want, and who knows if they'll be able to find common ground. Does that matter really for gold and silver? In the short run, it might have an effect, but in the long run, generally, it's going to go higher. Interest rates. What's going to happen with interest rates? When you look at the interest rates, there's a lot of talk now that we could drop 0.5% next month. Now, that could definitely have an impact on precious metals, but will it really? In the short run, it will have an impact. In the long run, it's probably going to be higher and higher. That's just the way it is. Everything is going up. One of the comments that it was on that comment, the follow-up comment was, at what number do you start switching your gold and silver? So right now, if you have an opportunity to trade some gold for some silver, you'll probably do well. However, me personally, something about gold, I mean, it's so quick to turn over. If I needed to sell a little piece of gold, I would have no trouble selling it tomorrow. I mean, yes, I might not get my premium if I pay too high of a premium. I do obviously try to build in a little something for myself, whether it's a free meal or something like that. So I kind of have to watch how I buy when I buy. But generally, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it because I know it has value. It will always have value. Gold and silver, despite what people will tell you, you can't trade it for food. Says who? Says who? I always find that crazy when I hear that. I mean, I'm sitting on a bunch of rice. If stuff started breaking down tomorrow and I've got all that rice, do you think that I wouldn't trade some rice for a wedding ring? For a gold earring? A little bit of a broken necklace maybe? Of course I would. Because I recognize that the gold will eventually have value. What will I do with that gold? I can't eat it. It's not going to save me. No. But the process is eventually the gold will have value. So, you take it, you put it in a little Ziploc baggie, and you stash it away somewhere. Maybe you bury it somewhere. Who knows? Eventually, it will come in handy. Now, is that bumming if something happens and I don't make it through the major, I don't know, I don't want to say apocalypse, but some major downturn where society takes a hit for a few years, maybe even 5 or 10 years? Well, yeah, if I don't make it, I don't make it. Hopefully I told someone where I put it. But if I didn't, we hear stories about that all the time. Treasures getting buried and getting found 50, 100, 200 years later, maybe even 1,000 years later. Viking treasures. Obviously, someone buried it and didn't tell somebody. But it has value. And it still has value. And it even has more value. So once you understand all these things, you understand. Gold and silver is where it's at. Now, the magic number, I don't know if I did say it. The magic number, right now, I'm stacking both gold and silver. I prefer silver right now still. I don't know if I would trade an ounce of gold for 89 ounces of silver. I believe that it will or could pop back up before it plunges down. We've been over 100 only a few times, and one of them was not too long ago. So all eyes are kind of on what's going to happen with the gold-silver ratio. Are we going to see silver just really start breaking out, or will we see gold break out first? A lot of that will depend on what the government does. Will they do some sort of a reset where they reset the price of gold? If they do, it's going to be gold that jumps first and silver that follows. But it can go either way. We don't know the outcome. All we know for certain is the trend that has always been will probably continue. And once you understand that gold and silver is a safe place to put money. Now, could some major factor happen that works against saying that? Well, yeah. Government could instill some crazy policy where they want you to turn in your gold and silver. Do I think that's likely? No. Back then, it happened. It's happened before, yes. Why did it happen? Because everybody had gold and silver. That was the money. If you had any money, you had gold and silver. And back then, families saved money. Today, people save fiat, if they even save, because most of them are in debt over their head and barely making ends meet. Just struggling just to stay above water, hoping that something is going to change and their situation is going to magically be better. Generally, if you don't change something, your situation is not going to change unless you change something. And I think a wise thing would be start stacking. That's what you can change. You can put a few dollars a week into precious metals. Whether it's some mercury dimes, some silver quarters, maybe you want to go all out and buy 1 or 2 nice ounces of silver. It's definitely a security net when things start breaking down. But unfortunately, people tend to use that security net for crazy things. Oh, well, yeah, I'm going on vacation and I've got to sell mine. Oh, yeah, I got an anniversary coming. I got to sell my ounces so I can get a really nice present, and then, I'll just buy them back later. But what happens is later comes around and the price is even more money. With that being said, I'm going to wrap today's video up here. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Let me just see how long I've been talking, because it's kind of hard to get a good gist on how long it's been. 24 minutes, not bad. So with that being said, going to wrap up here. Check out some of these other great videos. If you haven't watched many of my videos, I try to do a video every Monday through Friday. I try to post shorts up every day. If the short does fairly well early in the day, like it breaks 100 views, shorts generally don't always get a lot of views. Once it breaks 100 views, then I'll throw up another one behind it. Today's short, or I should say yesterday's short, only got up to 81 views. It was just the sunset on the water, so I ended up not putting up another one just because it felt like a bad day to put it up. And then some days I'll have something break out 1,000 views in 2 hours, so I'll end up throwing up another short video. So with that being said, though, check out some of my other great videos. I hope you enjoy them. Leave a comment, and I thank everybody for watching, and I hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk. We're Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day, so let's get to it. Hopefully we see some excitement around some precious metals, but I think we're going to see a lot of flat line for the time being. We might see a little up, a little down, back and forth until something major happens. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.